boys, what is up? Here we are playing, no, I'm not playing 2v2. Making a tier list for arena augments. And boys, this is going to be a tier list wherein the augment is good overall or not good overall. Because, you know, there are some augments that work really well with certain champions, but that doesn't mean that they're going to work well overall in the game, okay? So, first things first, we're gonna be looking at accelerating sorcery. Okay, so accelerating sorcery overall as an augment, I think accelerating sorcery belongs probably in the A tier. I think accelerating sorcery is not super amazing enough to be S tier, but accelerating sorcery, you know, if you, no matter what champion you're playing, ability haste is most likely good. And you can serve the round, you can be a little bit slow, you can use spam some abilities away from the enemy, you can stall a little bit, and accelerating sorcery will be very helpful for you. Okay. So then we have adapt. Adapt is going to make your bonus AD into ability power. So basically that means that if you buy AD items, like for example an Infinity Edge, that AD on the Infinity Edge is going to become AP. So this is very situational. I'm gonna say that adapt probably belongs in the D tier overall when it comes to all the champions. Not very good. Not very good. So all for you. Obviously, this is only for healing and shielding champions. All for you is probably B to C tier. I would say. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier because, I mean, 40% stronger heals is really good. On the other hand, you know, it's like it's only for your ally, so it's not for yourself. So yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably C tier, unless you're like Yumi or something, or Soraka even. But again, it's overall it's not very great. Then we're gonna look at Angel of Retribution. I actually really enjoy Angel of Retribution. I think it's very fun to use. Is it good? Probably not. It's only good on certain champions. Like for example, I played a game of Nidalee yesterday, and I went healing Nidalee, and I had Angel of Retribution, and I had a ton of attack speed. And I bought the blade that when you basic attack, you're gonna heal. So that was fun. That was cool. Is it good though? Probably overall it's not good. Okay. Also, sorry for the scuffed thing. I had to literally manually go pick all of these out, save them to a folder, and put them in. So Apex Inventor. I actually think Apex Inventor is very solid overall for champions that use like things like Hardsteel, things like Everfrost, you know, stuff like that. Even on Vlad, when you have what's the green item called again? I forgot. Anyway, Apex Inventor, probably B tier. Yeah, I would say Apex Inventor is probably B tier overall. I think it's very solid. So yeah, item haste, it works on everything. Zonios too, by the way. So like your Zonios becomes like 9 seconds or something when you get Apex Inventor, which is insane. Then we have Back to Basics. So Back to Basics overall, you know, a lot of champions like to use their ult. I think Back to Basics is amazing on stuff like Pantheon, stuff like Rise, things like TF, you know, all of those. Back to Basics is pretty good on. Overall, though, I would say probably Back to Basics is C tier, because a lot of champions, you know, prefer to have their ult. Then we have Big Brain. I think Big Brain is probably B tier. You get for every 1 HP, you get for every 1 AP you get 3 shield, right? So 100 AP, 300 shield, 1000 AP, 3000 shield. So Big Brain is alright. It's not the best though. I mean, the shield is very annoying, but I would say it's at best B tier. Okay, then we have Blood Brother. It's only for Draven. But you know what? It's probably a B tier augment. I think there's better things than Blood Brother, even for Draven, such as Blunt Force. Blunt Force is a very good augment for heavy AD champions. So I think Blunt Force is an A tier augment on those champions. 15% is a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Then we have Banner of Command. So Banner of Command is gonna give your ally basically a boost in everything. So Banner of Command is overall decent, but I'm not gonna place it higher than B tier. I think it deserves a B tier. It's just a decent augment. Then we have Bread and Butter, Bread and Toast, and Bread and Jam. I grouped all of these together because they do the same thing. It's just for a different ability. Overall, if you have an ability that gets 200 ability haste, that's a really, really good thing. Okay, it's a really, really good thing. So actually, you know what? Maybe Bread and Butter and Bread and Toast and Bread and Cheese. I mean, Bread and Toast, Bread and Jam can be our first S tier. So I mean, this is really good. It's a really good thing to have. I think no matter who you're playing, if you get one of these abilities, it's almost definitely worth picking it up all the time. Okay. Then we have Brutalizer, 25 AD, 10 ability haste, and 10 lethality. I think that's very solid. Overall, works on almost every champion, so probably gonna be A tier. Then we have Buff Buddies, permanent red and blue buff. I like it. Overall, it works on pretty much everyone. I don't think there's any champion that doesn't want to use Buff Buddies necessarily. I mean, unless you're thinking like Vlad or something that doesn't use mana at all. But overall, Buff Buddies is pretty decent, so it's gonna go into the B tier. Then we have Blade Waltz. For prismatic augments, I don't like Blade Waltz. I think Blade Waltz probably goes into either D tier or C tier. I'm not really sure. I find it a lot less useful than Back to Basics, so we're gonna put Blade Waltz into D tier. Then we have Cannon Fodder. I mean, Blade Waltz. Okay, let me just explain Blade Waltz real quick. In short, old Fiora ult. So you're gonna be untargetable. It's really good on certain champions that can deal damage while they're in Blade Waltz. So for example, Garen E, it's gonna keep like spinning and damaging while in Blade Waltz. Samira ult, it can keep damaging while in Blade Waltz, so that's very good as well. But for most champions, again, this tier list is not for one certain champion or per certain champion, but this is gonna be for like overall the goodness of the augments. Okay. Then we have Cannon Fodder. Cannon Fodder, absolute trash tier rune. Trash tier augment, okay? You do not want to get Cannon Fodder. Like, there's not a single champion that I would be like, oh my god, I would like Cannon Fodder on this guy. No. Don't get Cannon Fodder. There's a reason why it's fodder, right? Alright, then up next. Can't Touch This. So Can't Touch This is really good for champions that, you know, have an ult like Katarina, or Samira, or, you know, something that wants to be close, but in general doesn't want to be close. Can't Touch This is very good for those champions. It's not so good for other champions. I mean, Kassadin is really good with this too. Overall, I would say this augment's probably C tier, like the same as Back to Basics. Also, boys, like, obviously Plague augments are not around anymore. I mean, Curse augments are not around anymore. Otherwise, they would have all been into S tier. Okay. So then we have Castle. I think Castle has its uses. I would say Castle's probably C tier. Switching places with your duo, or, you know, the person who's playing with you. If you're not pre-made, that can be very disorienting, and most likely something's gonna go wrong, right? If I get Castle and I'm playing with someone, if they go low, I can switch them to a plant or something like that. That's like the only real use that I see for the augment if you're not in a duo. But yeah, that's about it. So then we have Celestial Body. You gain 1250 health but deal 10% less damage. I mean, it's usable, but, you know, I would say it's probably C tier. Maybe even D tier. I mean, it depends on what you're playing, right? But, you know, it's alright. It's not the worst. So then we have Center of the Universe. Now, Center of the Universe, I'm probably gonna put into C tier, because I think Center of the Universe is okay to use. Is it great? Is it amazing? No, it's not. But it's okay. You know, it's usable. Then we have Chain Lightning. So Chain Lightning, overall, I would say it's like legitimately A tier. it's either low A tier or high B tier, because chain lightning, 50% of the damage you deal will go to the other enemy as well in true damage. So just imagine that. Now, if you're dealing damage to both enemies at the same time, that's almost like you're dealing 150% damage. You know what I mean? So like, as long as they're close together and you have chain lightning, you're just gonna smack them. Okay. Okay, then we have chauffeur. So chauffeur, again, overall, this is a D tier augment. Chauffeur, you can only use it on very certain situations. Like for example, if your ally is a singed and he's trying to run away all the time, and you're a Kog'Maw or a Jinx or something like that, then you can go chauffeur. In any other situation, you cannot. Okay. Circle of Death, very situational, super situational. I generally do not like Circle of Death. I think the most damage I've ever dealt in a round with Circle of Death is like 1,200 or something like that maximum, and that was on Vladimir with like Q ability haste. So like, yeah, for me, I don't like this augment. You can only run it if you're either a healer or you're like a full tank with like a million healing. Then you can run Circle of Death, and that would probably be fine. Clothesline, I would say Clothesline's probably a high C tier item. I think Clothesline is pretty decent. Why? Because it can deal a lot of damage. The damage actually adds up. So what it does, it's gonna make a line between you and your ally. It's kind of like an old Karma W. Old Karma W, you would put a line on an ally, and then if an enemy runs through it, it's gonna take damage. It's the exact same thing. So I think Clothesline is pretty solid. Okay, then we have Combo Master. So Electrocute, Phase Rush, I think in general probably goes into B tier. I think Electrocute, Phase Rush, having that available to you on a lot of champions, this is just solid. Just fine, okay. Then we have Contract Killer. I would say Contract Killer is like just below C tier. I think it's okay, like, you know, having the extra money, but then generally you just want something else. Something else is better. Then we have Courage of the Colossus. So like, if you are a CC champion, like Leona, Maokai, Nautilus, Sejuani, etc., this is like legit an S tier augment, but we're going for overall. So champions who have 1 CC can get Courage of the Colossus, so you probably don't want it. And that's why we're gonna put Courage of the Colossus into B tier. Again, if you're a tank with a lot of CC, S tier, okay? So we have critical healing here. Critical heals and shields. They can crit, you get 20% crit too. I don't like it. Generally, on healers, you don't want crit. It's kind of bad, okay? Unless you're, I don't know, Senna maybe? On Senna, this would be fine. On... What else is a healer that wants to crit? I mean, if you're going like for like a paladin build on someone, maybe you can run this, but otherwise, no. Then we have dashing, dash, leap, and blink, and teleport abilities. Gain 200 ability haste. Very situational. D tier. Okay. Very situational. Generally, you don't want this. Dawnbringer's Resolve. Upon dropping below 50% health, you're gonna heal for 30%. It's an okay augment, but that's about all it is. I would say it's C tier. If they have anti-heal, you're not gonna heal the full 30% as well. Defensive maneuvers, barrier heal. Honestly, probably D tier augment. I don't really like it. Then we have deft. Okay, so deft. If you're playing anything that likes attack speed, obviously this is an S tier augment, right? I don't think anyone else other than people who need attack speed can use it. So just pop it in the S tier. Then we have Dematerialize. If you get Dematerialize first round, and you know you're gonna do well, you definitely want to pick this up. If you don't think you're gonna do well, you don't want to pick it up. Okay. So if you're playing a late game, if like for example, if I play Kassadin or something, or Asol, and I get Dematerialize, and I'm like, huh, this is round number 1. Do we think we're gonna win against this Darius Trundle matchup in the early game? No, we don't. Do we think we're gonna win against their Udyr and Swain? No, we don't. So dematerialize overall, if you're playing an early game champ or early game comp, definitely pick it up. If not, you don't want to pick it up. So I would say overall it's probably around C tier. I like it, but you have to play well for it. You have to win. If you don't win, or if you don't get a kill, then this is. I mean, if you don't get any kills, obviously it's in D tier, right? Because it depends on you playing well. But overall, I'm gonna put into C tier. So then we have Demon's Dance, Fleet Footwork, and Grasp. Honestly, not the biggest fan, but I think it deserves like C tier. Yeah, that's what I would put it in. Then we have Die Another Day. You basically get a Kindred ult. Overall, I would say it's not very good. Probably high D tier because you can use it in the zone. So that's like the main use for me. If a game goes into zone and then I want to dash away from our enemy and throw it down and out survive them in zone, but generally speaking, not the greatest augment. Then we have Dive Bomber. First that explodes. I mean, you're kind of assuming that you're gonna die here. Not very good. Not very great. It's kind of like a Kog'Maw passive, right? It's 20% of the enemy's max health. 20% is not that much. They used to just say massive damage, but I don't think it's that massive. Then we have Don't Blink. Overall, not a good augment. More damage the faster than you are than enemies, and it's like per 10 movement speed or something, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Then we have Don't Chase. So Don't Chase is an interesting one. You get Singe Trail and you become ghosted, so that means you don't have unit collision. So you can just walk through enemies. I kind of like it. Overall, I wouldn't say it's like a very good augment, but I like it. So C tier. Then we have Draw Your Sword. So Draw Your Sword, very decent on certain champions. I've seen an Ashe pop off with it. I think it would work great on Samira. I don't even know if Samira can get it. I tried it on Akshan, and that was just a very bad time. I'm gonna put Draw Your Sword into the D tier. Then we have Earthquake. So Earthquake, if you are a dashing champion, Earthquake is so goddamn strong. S tier. Honestly, I love this augment. If you're playing something with multiple dashes, Riven, LeBlanc, this is just best in slot. Okay. Even if you're not, even if you're playing Pyke with a single dash, this is still a great augment. You can also flash. You can also use Now You See Me, and it's also gonna leave behind a little pool of Earthquake. So definitely great. Then we have Erosion, damaging enemies as a stacking debuff. So stacking up to 20% magic pen and 20% physical pen that you get from Erosion. So I would say it's probably C tier because you have to stack it 20 times. So you have to hit the enemy 20 times, I think. Yeah, it's 20, I think. So yeah, it takes a while to get it off fully. But pair this up with a cleaver, you get 40%. So it's pretty decent, but it's not super easy. Like if you have a champion that can deal a lot of damage, or like a lot of ticks of damage really fast, like for example Cassiopeia, Garthus, Swain, whatever, Erosion is solid. Otherwise, it's gonna take a while. So now we have Escapade. Escapade is basically adapt but reversed. So we don't really have to talk about this one. Same thing. It's like you buy AP, it becomes AD. Okay. So this is pretty good actually on certain champions, wherein, for example, if you are Kale, I think it works on Kale pretty decently because you're gonna buy like Nashers, you're gonna buy I guess Riftmaker, and then that becomes AD instead of AP. That's pretty decent. I think that's pretty alright. Then Executioner, 15% more damage to enemies below 50%, and you get your basic abilities to reset on a kill. That's pretty decent. Executioner, it kinda deals a decent amount of damage, but I'm gonna put it into C tier because, again, I mean, the 15% damage, you can get it from somewhere else, like from better augments. Then we have Eureka. So Eureka is super great on mages. 25% of your AP becomes ability haste. I'm probably gonna put that into the S tier because 25% of your ability haste. So if you get 1000 AP, you get 250 ability haste. That's an insane amount of ability haste, okay? Like, for example, if you're playing Vlad or something, you literally Q every 1 second. Super crazy. Works basically on every AP champion, so I would say good thing. Obviously, only AP champions can get that augment. Then we have Extendo Arm, automatically fire Blitzcrank Hook. I think overall it's probably C tier. I think it's pretty decent, especially if you're playing like a bruiser or something that wants to stick on champions. And then if you have a hard time sticking on champions, you just get the Extendo Arm and they're gonna get yoinked into you. And then you're just gonna deal damage and then you're gonna kill them. Yeah. Then we have Fallen Aegis, start combat with a black shield. Not the best, not the worst. I would say probably C tier. Because having a black shield in certain comps is really good. On the other hand, on other comps, it's not so good. Like, for example, if you're playing against a Malzahar, and he tends to ult you immediately every single time you start combat, having the Fallen Aegis would be, you know, solid. Okay. Then we have Ethereal Weapon. I think Ethereal Weapon is very good on certain champions, very bad on others. For me, I'll probably put it into C tier as well, because it's very situational. It's just not gonna do well on everyone. So that's why I'm putting it overall into C tier. Then we have Feel the Burn. I don't like Feel the Burn at all. First of all, you have to be in range. Like, you can't just cast it from anywhere in the map. You have to be in a certain range. So, like, for example, if they split off, like one goes for one plant, one goes for the other plant, and you want to feel the burn, you're gonna have to like make sure that they're in range. So you get Exhaust Ignite. Can be good situationally, but overall, it's just not very good. Then we have Fey Magic. Fey Magic overall, I would say C tier, because damaging people with your ult polymorphs them. For some people, it's good. For example, if you're Cassin, you can ult every like 2 seconds. That's good. For Swain, your ult stays on. That's good. And then you have other champions like, for example, I've gotten it on Darius once, Fey Magic, and it's like, I want to execute with my ult. Why would I want Fey Magic, right? So overall, C tier. Then we've got Firebrand. So Firebrand, your attacks will apply an infinitely stacking burn. So as long as you keep basic attacking the same champion over and over and over and over again, you're gonna get a bigger burn every single time. So this ramps up over time. I think the maximum I've had DPS going from Firebrand is like 140, 150 DPS, which is pretty solid, but it takes a lot of basic attacks. So if you're anything but an AD carry or something that doesn't basic attack very often, you don't want Firebrand. Overall, I would say Firebrand. I'm kind of torn because I kind of like Firebrand. I like, you know, basic attacking a lot and stacking people with augments, but I'm probably gonna throw it into D tier here. It's just not very good, especially, you know, after we've had the curse augments. Firebrand feels worse than any of the curse augments. So then we have first aid kit. So obviously this is for healers or people who heal themselves or for people who shield others or themselves. So first aid kit, I would say overall it's pretty decent. I think 25% heal and shield power is not bad, but I probably would put it into C tier, into high C tier. Okay, so it's like just right below B tier. That's where I would put it. Then we have flashbang. So when you flash, there's an explosion. I don't like it at all. Also, your flash does reset every round. So situationally, you could pick up flashbang, but overall, it's not so great. Then from beginning to end, first strike, dark harvest. Okay, I'm gonna put that into God. This one is kind of hard. I would say high C tier as well. Having first strike and dark harvest is not bad at all, but it's not the greatest. Then 3 ammo and flash. So this, if you get flashy and earthquake together, that's amazing. Okay, that's beautiful. It's gonna make you pop off. However, overall, having 3 flashes is good. I would say it's probably like high up in C tier as well. So having 3 ammo in your flashes, like you could use that to get over walls, get to plants faster, etc, etc, etc. Is it super great? It's not super great. It's just okay. Then we have frost rate every 7 seconds. Every 7 seconds automatically root. Not very good. Unless you paired up with like certain CC augments. It would be okay. Okay. So then we have fully automated. Your autocast cooldowns are reduced. So obviously this is only for champions who have automatic casts. I'd probably throw it into C tier. Then we have got Frozen Foundations, shows summons a wall. Nope, just lowest D tier. Then we have Goliath. Goliath is overall very good on basically almost every champion. I would say it's probably A tier, like high up in the A tier. Goliath. I wouldn't say it's S tier. It's just, you know, a base stat increase, 35% health, and what is it, 20% damage or 15% damage. Then we have Giant Slayer, become tiny, gain move speed, and do more damage to people bigger than you. Giant Slayer overall, you know, same thing. Probably, you know, same as Goliath, kind of. Because you gain movement speed, it's very good on like, I don't know, 80 carries and maybe even like things like Singe and stuff. Probably good. Then we have Gordrink. I like Gordrink. I like Gordrink a lot. 20% Omnivamp is good on anyone. I'm gonna put it into B tier, high B tier. Okay. It's like on the same level as like Apex Inventor, you know, etc. Then we have Guilty Pleasure. So Guilty Pleasure, obviously, for anyone who is like Leona, Maokai. Again, same thing with our Curse of the Colossus here. Very, very, very amazing augment for those champions. If you're not a super immobilizing champion, though, it's not very great. I'm gonna put it into B tier right here with Curse of the Colossus. Then we have Heavy Hitter, so your attacks deal additional physical damage to 5% of your HP. Now this is extremely good paired up on like an Ilaoi together with Hard Steel and other HP items. Same with Shen, same with like Udyr with HP items and so on and so forth, right? So on very high HP bruisers or something, this is extremely good. On other things, it's not so good. So, I mean, Heavy Hitter probably goes into the high C tier. Then we have Hold Very Still, not very good. Okay, so you go invisible. You're basically Teemo with this. So, situationally, it can be good, but overall, it's not very good. Home Guard, gain 100% move speed, disabled for 3 seconds when you're in combat. Not very good. I could run it on Singed. Or Heimer, maybe, or Teemo. Those types of things would work, but otherwise, not really. Then we have Holy Fire. So Holy Fire on healers that can heal consistently, A tier. Overall, probably B tier. I think Holy Fire is probably deserving of B tier. If someone gets Holy Fire and they can heal often, you're kind of screwed. Then we have Ice Cold. So Ice Cold makes our slowing effects reduce an extra 100 move speed. So for example, if you're playing Nasus, you W someone, the slow goes down. I mean, the slow goes up. It starts at like 50%. So that's like the enemies at 150 move speed. At the like first levels, 150, 180. It's gonna drop down by another 100. So they're gonna be at 80 move speed. That's insanely slow. As you max out your W, your slow goes up to 90%, 99%. Your enemy is going to be standing still with Ice Cold. So this augment, very solid. You can even run it on Rylai's. Even with Rylai's, it's going to slow down even more. I'm going to put this into the B tier because Ice Cold is just very good overall. Then we have Impassable, Aftershock, and Glacial Augment. I mean, needless to say, this is good. I'm going to put it together with the other tank augments. Aftershock, Glacial Augment, B tier. Then, Infernal Conduit. So, Infernal Conduit abilities apply stacking burn. See, after the curse augments, again, it's just not doing enough. Even on Singed, it's not doing enough. So, Infernal Conduit, unfortunately, you know, I really like the sound of the augment. I think it's very cool. It's very cool sounding as well, but I'm gonna put it into the C tier. Higher up in the C tier. Then we have its killing time. I hate this. I hate this augment. You guys have no idea how much I hate this augment. Okay. So this basically gives you a Z ult. But it does not increase your damage. Contrary to what a lot of people think, its killing time does not increase your damage. All it does is delay your damage. Okay? That's literally all it does, delay your damage. So, what is that good for? For surprising people with your burst, that's it. Everything else? Nope, useless. Then we have Infernal Soul. Infernal Soul is very, very good. Overall, I would say it's high B tier. Then we have Juice Box. Juice Box, I don't like it. Okay, each round you and your teammate get a juice for free. Not very good. Keystone Conjurer, Seminary, and Arcane Comet. Overall, on like mages and stuff, I would say it's pretty decent. I would put it into the C to B tier, high C tier. Let's just put it high C tier. Keystone Conjurer, solid. Then we have Jewel Gauntlet. Abilities can critically strike, gain 20% crit. Very, 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 very good augment. I would say it's probably S tier. I really like Jewel Gauntlet. I think it's a lot of fun to use too. Then we have its critical, gain 40% crit. Generally speaking, very good. Okay, A tier. Because like you're mostly gonna get this on like 80 carries and stuff. So it's critical, A tier. Okay. Then we have Laser Eyes. Laser Eyes, very, very solid augment on bruisers. Actually deals a lot of damage. It works on tanks too. Deals a lot of damage. Overall though, like you don't want to get it on 80 carries. You don't want to get it on mages generally. So I would say overall it's like a low B tier, maybe. Then we have Light 'em Up. Every fourth attack deals additional magic damage. If you get Ginsus, it's every third attack. So it's decent. Only on 80 carries though, that wanna or champions that have a lot of attack speed, a lot of basic attacks. Overall, I would say it's probably low C tier. I really like the augment if I'm playing 80 carry. If I'm playing anything else, no. Then we have Lightning Strikes. Gain attack damage scaling with your attack speed. So it's like per 0.3 attack speed you get 1 AD or something like that. It's definitely not bad, but you only want to get it on champions that have a lot of attack speed, like maybe like Yasuo, Yone, and 80 carries. On anyone else, you don't want it. So I mean, I'm probably gonna put Lightning Strikes right here next to Light 'em Up in the C tier. Then we have Mad Scientist. Grow large, you gain adaptive damage and health, or you grow small and you gain ability, haste, and movement speed. Mad Scientist, probably around here, together with Infernal Conduit, C tier. A little bit higher up in the C tier, but still C tier. Then we have Magic Missile. So Magic Missile is an insanely strong augment on champions who can deal damage over time, or champions who build Liandries, etc. Because it works on Liandries. So I would put Magic Missile currently the way the state it is in right now. So 1.5% damage, probably B tier, high B tier. Okay. When this augment came out first in PvE, it was dealing 3% max health damage. Actually, it was 4.5 first. 4.5% max health damage per ability or per damage tick. So if they released it like that in live servers, it would have been S tier, like easily. It's still a very good augment. I would still look into getting Magic Missile. Probably actually put it in like A tier here. Magic Missile is very strong. Then we have Marks Mage. So Marks Mage, if you're playing something like Fizz, Nidalee, Elise, you know, anything like that, Marks Mage is 100% the top S tier augment. It would be right here. However, you can also get it on champions like Karthus, Anivia, etc. you don't want Mark's Mage there. If you play one of those champions, you want to get Magic Missile. So I think Mark's Mage we're gonna probably put like right here. Low S tier overall. So don't get me wrong, right? Like this augment 100% is the best augment in the game, I think. Not on everyone. That's why it's here. Okay. Then we've got Mind to Matter, increase max health by half of your mana. You know, it's alright. I'd probably say like low C tier. Not everyone wants this. Actually, probably like there's barely any champions who want this. Maybe like Rise can use it. Maybe like Cassiopeia can use it. Maybe even Ezreal can use it. But overall, like D tier augment. Then we have Minion Mancer. So Minion Mancer summons gain 60% increased size and damage. So for those who can use it, I would say it's probably like high C tier. Because like it's not bad. Like Heimer turrets, for example. I don't think it works on Illaoi tentacles. But, you know, there's that. I think it works on Teemo Shrooms. It works on Maokai Saplings. And so on and so forth. Everything that has summons. Nafaris, dogs, it works on. Overall, I would say it's high C tier to low B tier. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Then we have Master of Duality. So Master of Duality, very, very, very good on champions like, for example, Kai'Sa, Kayle. Very bad on other champions overall. That's why we're gonna put it like around the middle, like high C tier. I like duality on certain champions. I hate it on others. So popping it somewhere in the middle, maybe like B tier. Okay. Then we have Mirror Image. When you drop below 30% health, you basically get like a LeBlanc passive. So overall, it's not bad. It's not great. I would say probably like higher up in D tier maybe. Like middle D tier. Mountain Soul, I really don't like Mountain Soul in Arena. I don't like Mountain Soul in 5v5 as well. Okay, so Mystic Punch overall for whoever can get Mystic Punch. I would say Mystic Punch definitely deserves to be in the S tier here. Then we have Mythical. You can buy any number of Mythic items. I mean, you know what? Mythical is not bad at all. I think we're gonna put it like mid B tier. Mythical. Because like you buy 5 mythical items and you buy one legendary and it's gonna get all of those passives, right? So that's pretty solid. So then we have Now You See Me. So Now You See Me is like, I mean, it's almost like an echo ult. So like, but it's gonna bring you back to the last place you dashed from. So together with Earthquake, super amazing augment. Super, super amazing. Overall, I would say probably like low C tier. Actually, high C tier, because you can confuse people like really, really well. So for example, if you dash away from a plant to get another plant, you can dash back to that plant, you know, or something like that. Like you can outplay your opponents very, very heavily with this. Then we have Nesting Doll. Nesting Doll is an extremely strong augment. I would say like Nesting Doll, it's so annoying. I'm gonna low S tier it. Why? Because when you die for the first time, you will revive. You die again, you will revive again. You die again, you will revive again. You basically have 3 lives to play around with. Okay. You get a little bit weaker every time, but if you get to the zone with Nesting Doll, you win. Okay. If you don't die until the zone comes, you win. It's literally a guaranteed win if you don't die with Nesting Doll. Guaranteed every time. You can also get a GA, you can also get a Zhonya's and be even more annoying. If you really want to be the most annoying thing you can be, you get the Kindred ult as well. So you would get where did I place it? Where did I place the Kindred ult? I don't know. You could also get Mirror Image. You could also get Hold Very Still if you really want to be a cunt. You just go invisible until the zone comes, and then you're just GG. Oathsworn, you get a Callisto ult. It's situational. I would say overall it's not very good. Ocean Soul. Ocean Soul is solid. I really, really, really like Ocean Soul. Ocean Soul is probably A to S tier. Ocean Soul, I'm gonna put in low S tier because every round, even in the first round, I always get like a minimum of 1.4k healing on Ocean Soul. It's super crazy. 1.4k healing in the first round. Can you imagine that? That's an insane amount of healing, okay? Then we have Omnisoul, 3 random Dragon Souls. I mean, this can be good, this can be bad. It depends on your luck of the draw. I'm gonna probably put it into the higher up C tier. Or lowest B tier. Probably lowest B tier. You can get lucky, you can get Ocean and Infernal and Chemtech or something like that, and then you're actually solid, or you can get really unlucky and you can get a Cloud Mountain and yeah, whatever, Cloud Mountain and something else. Okay, Boomerang, not very good. Not very good. Just like you get a Severe Q, right? Not super great. Orbital Laser, not super great. Because like anyone can just walk out of it. And if you hit them with the full duration, it only deals 20% of max health. Overall, Orbital Laser just really bad. Outlaw's Grit. Outlaw's Grit. When you dash, leap, blink, or teleport, you get armor and magic resist. Very good augment. Very, very good. Especially in the early game. If you get this in the early game, I think it's like 20. I think you get 20 armor and 20 magic resist with every dash. That's a lot. Again, especially in the early game. So I would place it right there. Parasitic Relationship, solid augment, deal 15% of the damage dealt by your teammate. So if you're not a very healing person, I would probably say Parasitic Relationship is high B tier or low A tier. Okay. Then, excuse me, we have Perseverance. If you're a tank, Perseverance is great. Okay. Perseverance, high B tier. Very good augment. Then, Phenomenal Evil. Obviously, if you're a mage, you get this first or second round. I don't think you can even get it in the third round. If you're a mage, you really, really want this. Phenomenal Evil, definitely up in S tier. Okay, you gain 2. This augment, if you get it on Swain, if you get it on Cassiopeia, if you get it on Cartus, something like that, they can just deal consistent damage. So singed. You can stack up to like 1.5, 1.6, even 1.8k if you're doing really well in your stacks on AP. So yeah, super insane augment. Then we have Rabble Rousing. Rabble Rousing for anyone who can spam spells. This is like one of the highest S tier augments. Overall, I would say Rabble Rousing probably like low A tier. It's a very good thing to have. Okay, don't say no to Rabble Rousing. Then we have Quantum Computing. I don't like it. Quantum Computing just not very good. You get like a little slash in a circle, basically like a big Darius Q, except it doesn't apply bleed. So not very great. Then we have Raid Boss. Raid Boss situationally good. The stats you get from Raid Boss are very nice. However, you are locked in, which means they can just kill your teammate and then they can deal with you afterwards. If they have something like a Vayne, you're just screwed. But overall, I would say the augment's pretty decent, so probably B tier, mid B tier. Then we've got Recursion, so 60 ability haste. I think 60 ability haste is always nice. We're just gonna pop that into the high B tier. Then we've got Repulsor dropping below 60, dropping below 60 or 30% health. You're gonna like point them away. They're gonna fly away a little bit. Not a very great augment. It's not bad either, but D tier for me. Then we have Restart. Your non-ultimate abilities will automatically refresh after 10 seconds. So for example, if you're 9 seconds in and you use all of your basic abilities, the next second it's gonna reset everything so you can use it again. I think Restart, if you know how to play around it, it's probably mid B tier. Pretty solid augment. I do enjoy playing with it. Restless Restoration, so if you move around... Oh, whoops, I dropped it. Whoops. Restless Restoration, if you move around, you're gonna heal. Very good on champions like Singed, etc. I would say it's probably up in the lower B tiers. Because, you know, healing, good. Scoped weapons, generally speaking, probably up in the high C tier. You know, getting 75 attack range as a melee or 50 as a range, that's not bad. Scopier weapons, I mean, I'm just gonna put all of them here. Although 200 attack range is a lot more. Let's put it up in the high or like mid B tier for Scopier weapons. Then scopiust weapons, you know, there's just a lot of better options for prismatics, so I'm gonna put it right next to where did I drop it? Let's just put it here, in the C tier. So I mean, you know, getting the attack range is nice and all, but you know, it's only 50 more than the gold one is. So like, kind of sad, you know, kind of sad. Then we have Searing Dawn. If you're a support and you want your ally to deal more damage, it's a good augment. Overall, though, not a fan of it. I don't think I've ever taken Searing Dawn. I'll probably put it here in the high D tiers. So that's like 15% extra damage. That's not bad. That's pretty good. But self-destruct, I don't like it at all. I actually trash tier augment. So you start each round with a bomb attached to you, and if you don't get to your teammates, if you don't get to your enemy before it explodes, wasted augment. Surf beyond that, kind of okay-ish, I guess. I wouldn't say it's very good though, so we'll probably put it in like mid D tier. Then we have Shadowrunner. After using a dash, leap, blink, or teleport, you're gonna get 300 extra movement speed. That's pretty solid on champions who actually can use dashes, so let's just put that here, up in the high C tier. Then we have Shrink Ray, reduce an enemy's damage by 15% when you hit them with basic attacks. I would say probably high up in the D tier. There we go. Then we have Skilled Sniper, hitting an enemy with a non-ultimate ability from far away resets his cooldown. So like, think about Morgana, think about Ashe W's, that's good on him. Everyone else though, kind of not good. So then we have Slap Around. Now Slap Around, I love this augment. Slap Around is very, very, very good. So every time you immobilize an enemy, you're gonna get 30 adaptive force. If you can use it, use it. It's really strong. Especially on things like Galio, Leona, Alistar, Maokai, you know, whatever. Super, super strong augment. Overall, whoever can use it, probably A tier, high up in the A tier. Then we have Slow Cooker. I like Slow Cooker for, you know, obviously you only want Slow Cooker if you're a super high HP person. So overall, I'm gonna put it into like high B tier. I like Slow Cooker, but it's not the strongest on other champions that can't use it as well. Then we have Sonic Boom. So Sonic Boom is really, really good. After healing, buffing, or shielding your ally, it's gonna release a little pulse that deals damage and slows the enemy down. So, for example, you're playing Soraka, you have a Darius who's trying to chase an enemy, you heal him, he's gonna be slowing around, like it's gonna be like a little slower around them. So for whoever can use this, definitely high up A tier, Sonic Boom. Snowball Fight, I don't like it. Snowballs, basically the snowball you get in ARM, you throw a snowball at them, you press the button again, you fly towards them, right? Then we have Soul Siphon, anyone who can use this, again, really high up. Definitely an A tier augment. 20% crit chance, 20% lifesteal off of crits. So very, very good. 80 carries. Spellwake. Okay, Spellwake, one of the best augments for mages. Spellwake is super, super strong. Super, super strong. We can put it right next to Earthquake here. So yeah, basically it's like Earthquake, but with spells. Okay. Then we have Spin to Win. So Spin to Win, usable on champions like Garen, Katarina, basically everyone with a spin thing. So you get 30 ability haste and 30% extra damage, which is pretty goddamn solid. So we're gonna put this into the lower A tiers. Then we have Spirit Link. 15% of your damage is dealt. Damage dealt to your ally is bounced back to you, and you get 50% of their healing. So Spirit Link can be good. Overall, I would say it's not very good though. Okay. Excuse me. Then we have Stegosaurus Rex. On whoever can get Stegosaurus Rex, you probably want to get it. Very good augment, very solid. Like for example, you can get it on Senna, you can get it on Cho'Gath, you can get it on who else? Who else stacks? Cho'Gath, Senna, yeah, basically champions like that. Never mind, my brain is leaving me. Very good augment for them. Anyone else? Not so much. Steal Your Heart. I love Steal Your Heart. It's going to ×5 your heart steal stacks once you reach 400. So basically you're going to be running around with 2000 hard steel stacks. I'm going to put it into low S tier because it's just a very solid augment. You can also pair up Steal Your Heart with Apex Inventor. So you get 300 item haste, and then you get so many goddamn stacks. So many goddamn stacks, if you can find the combo. Then we have Summoner's Roulette. So Summoner's Roulette, contrary to popular belief that it would be D tier, actually quite like Summoner's Roulette. I'm gonna put it into the high up C tier, because if you know how to play around this, you get a summoner every like 6 seconds. I think it's 6 seconds. Very solid. Then we have Symphony of War. Symphony of War overall on whoever can run it. You know, Lethal Tempo Conqueror. Very solid augment. Gonna be at the top of A tier for me. Then Tank It or Leave It. Honestly, Tank It or Leave It, I think is one of the best crit augments you can get. Okay. This augment is literally like so goddamn good. Tank It or Leave It. If you're an AD carry and you have Tank It or Leave It, nothing can one-shot you anymore. Okay. Then, Tab Dancer. Attacks grant 10 movement speed. You get attack speed from movement speed. Tab Dancer, you know, whoever can use it, very solid augment. I would say it's probably like mid A tier. Then we have Thieves Gloves. I don't like Thieves Gloves. I don't like it at all. So you get random items, and the items that you get will get a 30% stat increase. I think it's okay. Certain champions can actually use it. I think you can try maybe like running it on stuff like Galley or whatever. Maybe even Kale can use it, but overall it's not very good. Thread the Needle, super great augment, 25% armor and magic penetration. High up A tier. Then we have Tormentor, immobilizing enemy champions applies a stacking burn. You know what? I used to love this augment. Nowadays, not so much anymore. I would say probably like mid B tier for champions who can use it. Again, only use this augment on champions that can actually like stack a lot of Tormentor stacks, like Maokai, Leona, Galio, etc. Then we have True Shot Prodigy. When you damage a champion, you get an Ezolt. When they're out of your range, this is okay on like things like Teemo, things like that run like Malzahar, people that run Liandry's or something like that. I would say probably like high up in the D tier. It's not great. Twice Thrice. So Twice Thrice for anyone who can use it. Every third attack, your on hits trigger twice. Super crazy augment for people who have a ton of attack speed. So I would say probably like an A tier, like a lower A tier. Very good augment. Overall not so good, but on champions with a lot of attack speed, super amazing. Then Typhoon attacks fire an additional bolt. You know, it's basically like a Runeance. It applies on hits as well. I'm probably gonna put it into B tier. Then we've got Ultimate Revolution. Refresh your ult. I mean, I think in general, not bad of an augment. You know, everyone likes double ults, but like for me, it's like the same as Summoner's Roulette. Actually, I think Summoner's Roulette is probably better. So Ultimate Unstoppable, after using ult, you become CC immune, or is it CC immune? Or yeah, CC immune. So very good on certain champions, not good on other champions. I would say it's probably C tier. Then we have Earth's Champion, Spatula. So Spatula, boys. Spatula has some insane stats. If you get to Spatula, you don't lose anymore. I'm gonna put Earth's Champions on an S tier. Probably mid to high S tier, honestly. If you get Spatula, you're just gonna be so hard to beat and almost unstoppable. Then we have Vanish. Vanish Summoner spell. You go invisible for a little while, 4 seconds. I would say it's probably like low C tier. It has its uses. Vengeance, after your partner dies, gain massive Omnivamp. If you have a good partner, he's never gonna die, and you're never gonna use this. Okay. So I mean, if your partner dies a lot, you can get it. I would say low D tier. Not a fan. Vulnerability. So vulnerability. If you're playing stuff like Singed, if you're playing like anything that builds Liandry's, this is a pretty good augment. I actually really enjoy using vulnerability. I would say it's probably like overall in the B tier, because you know, crits on items, muchos fanos. Warm-up routine, I don't like warm-up routine. Warm-up routine is one of those things that's just a hassle to use. Like, you have to go practically AFK in the first start of the round. So first, like, what? How long does it take to channel? 10 seconds? 15 seconds? It's too long. Willing sacrifice, you give your ally health. Don't like it. Overall, I don't think you want this. Wisdom of the Ages, you get 1 level now and 1 bonus level every round. I would say probably B tier. Lower B tier. You get a lot of stats. Actually, you know what? If you can get this first round, it's good. I would say it's like high B tier if you get it first round, because, you know, obviously if you outlevel people, you're gonna deal more damage. Then we got Wishful Thinking. Wishful Thinking, 70 ability power, straight away. You know, pretty solid. It's obviously not as good as other things. I'm gonna put it high B tier. Then I'm also a little bit biased because I like the 4 fun items more. So with haste, movement speed, 1.5 times your ability haste. A lot of movement speed is always good, you know, no matter what you're playing. I'm gonna put it up high in the B tier. And then last one but not least, we have Wooglet's Witch Cap. Wooglet's Witch Cap, I would say it's very high up there. I think for any mage, getting this item is probably like low S tier. Because just from the item alone, you get like 500 ability power. So very, very good. So like, do a quick little rundown here. I also wanted to do a tier list for the most fun to use abilities, or the most fun to use augments. However, I don't want to do it because it's gonna take too long and my voice is not gonna handle it well. So, most fun to use for me. I'm just gonna run over it real quick. The bread ends are very good, very fun. Earthquake is fun. Eureka's whatever. Spellwake is fun. Jewel Gauntlet is fun. Mark's Mage, extremely fun. Mystic Punch, quite fun. Nesting Doll is really fun, but not for your enemies. Phenomenal Evil is fun. Stacking, getting any of the quests is fun. Symphony of War, whatever. Tank It or Leave It is fun. Sonic Boom is fun. Chain Lightning can be fun. Tap Dancer is pretty fun. Getting Magic Missile can be fun. You go swing, 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 swing. Then, it's Wisdom of the Ages. Nah, not really. Slow Cooker can be okay. Raid Boss can be pretty fun because you can become really big. Curve of the Colossus can be insanely fun. Master of Duality can be insanely fun. Omnisoul, whatever. Laser Eyes, whatever. Summoner's Roulette can be really fun. I would really suggest anyone to try this augment out, okay? Then we have Ultimate Revolution, whatever, Scopious Weapons. If you get all the Scopiasts on a melee hero, that could be a champion, could be a lot of fun. Minimancer is fun to use. Heavy Hitter can be fun to use. Can't Touch This, whatever. Center of the Universe, whatever. Don't Chase, becoming a Singe, it can be pretty fun. Fey Magic can be cool. Especially if you get it on Teemo or something like that. You throw down shrooms and they're going to be polymorphed and slowed at the same time. Very annoying. And no. Chauffeur can be fun if you're like a long range AD carry. Twitch, Kog'Maw, Jinx, whatever. Dry Your Sword can be fun to try out, but it's not very good. Then we have Feel the Burn, nope. Spiritling, nope. Quantum Computing, nope. Orbital Laser, nope. Thieves' Gloves can be fun to try, but it's not very good. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list. So the rundown, again, the S tier right here, pause if you want to see it. We've got the A tier right here, pause if you want to see it. We've got the the B tier right here. I'm gonna slowly scroll through, pause or slow down if you want to see it. Okay. So overall, here's the D tier. And there we go, boys. That is the C tier, sorry. And the D tier. And that is all, boys. So, hope you guys enjoyed the tier list. If you agree with me, let me know down below. If you don't agree with me, also let me know down below. So, yeah. Peace.